Hello everyone! Welcome po ulit sa ating Math-Isip YouTube channel where you can find free Tagalog mathematics tutorial. Our topic for today is all about systems of linear equation, which includes the solution by graphing and the different types of systems. But before we begin, let me just remind everyone, kapag hindi pa po tayo nakakapag-subscribe, we can click the subscribe button and the notification bell para po lagi tayong updated sa mga susunod pang mga lessons. And to our fellow teachers, thank you very much for sharing this video tutorials to our learners. If you are interested with our PowerPoint presentations, our dear teachers, you can click the link in the description below or you can just visit us on our Facebook page. Okay? So without further ado, let's now begin with our lesson. Our learning competencies are, first, to define and illustrate a system of linear equations in two variables. Second, we will solve a system of linear equations with integer solutions by graphing. And then third one, we are going to classify the types of systems of linear equations based on the number of solutions. Okay, for our introduction, let us have this exploration first. Let us explore this situation. Okay, let's have this word problem. A student buys 2 pencils and 1 pen for 25 pesos. So I repeat, there are 2 pencils and then 1 pen for just 25 pesos. Now another student buys 1 pencil and 3 pens for how much? 35 pesos this time. So how much is each item? Magkano po kaya ang isang pencil and then magkano din po ang isang pen? So this situation can be represented using two equations with two unknowns. So itong unknowns na ito, let's use x as one unknown. Let x be equal to the price of each pencil. So this variable x represent the price for each pencil. And then we will use another variable which is y, and y be equal to the price of each pen. Okay, so yung y naman po is yung mga ballpen. So isang ballpen, magkano ang cost niya? It is represented by y. Now, this will be the first equation. Since we have here 2x, meaning 2 times the price of 1 pencil, okay, which is x, and then plus the price of 1 ballpen, it is equal to 25 pesos lahat-lahat yan. Now, for the next student, okay, we can represent the equation using x plus 3y is equal to 35. Okay, I repeat, yung x dito is the price of 1 pencil and then y is the price of 1 ballpen. Since there are 3 ballpen, that will be 3y. And if we're going to add them, the price is 35 pesos. Ito na po yung tinatawag nating system. Now, let us define systems of linear equations. So, system of linear equations consist of 2 or more linear equations made up of 2 or more variables, such that all equations in the system are considered simultaneously. So, dapat magkasama po yung dalawang equation natin. Okay? And remember, there are 2 variables. We have x and then y. Now, ano naman po yung solution? Okay, solution of a system of linear equations. The solution to a system of linear equations in 2 variables is any ordered pairs that satisfies each equation independently. So let's have the solution for these 2 equations. The solution is actually 8, 9. So this is an ordered pair. We have the abscissa and then we have here the ordinate. Okay, so now let us substitute this solution to both of these equations. So unahin natin sa 2x plus y equals 25. So x will become 8 and then y will become 9. So 2 times 8 will be 16 plus 9. Is it going to be 25? Yes, 25 is equal to 25. Therefore, this solution makes the equation true. Okay? Now let's have the other equation. X plus 3y is equal to 35. Will the same solution satisfy the equation? Tignan po natin, mag-substitute tayo. X will become 8 and then y will become 9. So we can multiply this first. 3 times 9 will become 27 plus 8. Is it going to be 35? Yes, the equation is true. So yun po yung ibig sabihin ng solution. An ordered pair that can both satisfy the first and then the second equation. Okay, so going back to our problem in the exploration part, so if the solution is 8, 9. Therefore, we can say that a pencil cost 8 pesos since x is equal to 8. And then a pen cost 9 pesos since y is equal to 9. Ito na po yung ating solution sa ating problem. Okay, now how do we find the solution of the systems of linear equation? Okay, so one way to do it is using graphing. Pag nag-graph po tayo, malalaman po natin kung ano yung solution ng systems of linear equation natin. But before we begin, let's have first a review. Okay, let us recall the different methods of graphing linear equations. So yung una is method number 1 using the intercepts. And then method number 2 using the slope-intercept form. And then method number 3 using a table of values. So we have learned all this in our previous videos. Kung hindi nyo pa po napapanood, you can go back to our previous uploads para maintindihan nyo muna kung paano mag-graph ng linear equations. Now, if you cannot recall, we can also have a short review. Okay, so i-review lang po natin. Let's have this example, 2x plus y is equal to 4. So how do we graph this equation? Using method number 1, using the intercepts, we can have these 3 steps. Step number 1 is to set y is equal to 0 to find the x-intercept. So using our x-intercept, nag-set po tayo ng 0 for y. That's why we found out na yung ating x-coordinate ay 2. So therefore, we can have this first point. Next step is to set x is equal to 0 to find the y-intercept. So ang ating y-intercept is at 0.04. Okay? If we set the x is equal to 0, malalaman natin yung value ng ating y-coordinate from our equation. So we can now plot both points, then draw the line. We can now draw the line. There you go. We have now our line. Now, another example we have here, y is equal to negative 1/2 x plus 1. Let us review method number 2 using the slope-intercept form naman. So there are 3 steps. First is to rewrite the equation to y is equal to mx plus b. Since our example is already in the form y is equal to mx plus b, no need to rewrite. Step number 2, identify natin yung slope, which is yun yung rise over natin. And then yung y-intercept. Okay, so here, our slope is negative 1/2 because this is m. Okay, remember? And then we have here our y-intercept, which is 1. Okay, so let us plot yung y-intercept, which is at 0.01. Okay, now, using our slope, pwede na tayong mag-plot ng panibago pang points. Plot the y-intercept, then use the slope to find another point. So let's go to the second point using our slope. Our rise is, we have 1. So 1 step going up, and then our run is 2. But take note, we have a negative sign dito. So our run is actually negative 2. So hindi po siya papunta sa right, but rather papunta po dito sa left. So there are 2 units. Magbilang lang po tayo ng 2 units. So we have 1 and then 2. Dito na po yung ating next point, which is negative 2, positive 2. Then ulitin lang po natin yung process. 1 step going up, and then 2 step going to the left. So therefore, ito na po yung third point natin. Okay? We can have 3 points or more para mas makasigurado tayo. But we can actually connect points using 2 points only. Para mas sure, we can add. So meron tayong pangatlong point dito. Pwede na natin gawin yung ating line. So this is now the graph of our equation using the slope-intercept form. Okay, now for the third method, just a short recap. For example, we have here 3x plus 2y equals 5. How do we graph this using the table of values? So we just need to choose convenient x values. So ito yung ating table of values. Let's say we have here x is equal to 0, x is equal to 1, negative 1, and then 2. Next, isa-substitute lang natin yung mga yan dito sa ating equation para makuha natin yung counterpart nila. So if we have x is equal to 0, what will be the value of y? So the value of y here in this case is 2.5. Assuming na nag-solve na po tayo at ito na po yung ating mga table of values. Okay, so we can have the points in any order. So first we have 2, negative 0.5. Ito po yun. And then we have here 1 and then 1. And then we have negative 1 and positive 4. And then yung last is 0, and 2.5. So we can just plot this all together and then connect it using a straight line. There you go. That is now our graph using the table of values. Okay, now kung okay na po kayo sa graphing of linear equations, we can now proceed to our lesson, which is now solving systems of linear equation by graphing. So since this is systems of linear equation, dalawang equation po ito, no? And we have these braces. This is a symbol denoting that these two equations are related to each other. So we will approach them simultaneously. Okay? So first, we can use any method in graphing. Okay, let's just use method number 2 for this example using the slope-intercept form. Kasi actually, for me, it is one of the easiest way of graphing, the slope-intercept form. Lalo na po kapag ang equations natin ay nasa slope-intercept form na po siya. Okay, so let's have the first equation, y is equal to 2x minus 1. All we have to do is get the slope, which is dm. Yung slope po natin dito is 2. And then yung y-intercept natin is negative 1. Then we are now ready to graph the equation. So, ang y-intercept natin is negative 1. So, assuming x is 0, andito po yung point natin. Okay? So, negative 1 nasa y-axis. Next, our slope is 2, meaning ang ating rise ay 2 units. And then ang ating run ay 1 unit. Since positive ang ating slope, it will go to the right side. So, let's count 1 and 2 for the rise and then 1 for the run. So, nandito po yung ating next point at point 1, 1. So, ulitin lang po natin hanggang makatatlong points tayo para sigurado. So, 1 and 2 and then 1 po ang ating run. So, at point 2, 3. Then, we can now proceed with connecting the points para makabuo na tayo ng line. And this is our line for the equation y is equal to 2x minus 1. Okay? So that's just one of the equation. Now, let's go to the next equation, which is y is equal to negative x plus 2. So, using the same method, slope-intercept form, i-identify lang po natin ang slope nito. Since ang m nito is negative 1, wala pong nakalagay na negative 1 dyan. Pero, if there are no coefficients, meaning ang ating coefficient dyan ay 1. Okay? So, since negative si x, negative po yung ating slope. Next, our y-intercept is at point 2, at point 0, 2. Okay? Ang ating y-intercept. So, let's plot this, point 0, 2. And then, lagi pong ang y-intercept ay nasa y-axis. Tandaan po natin yan para hindi po tayo malito. Next, our slope is negative. And it is negative 1. So, ang ating rise ay isang beses lang po tayo tataas. And then, ang run, same pa rin po, isang beses lang. But this time, it is negative. So, saan po yung direction natin? It will be to the left side. So, leaning to the left po siya. So, let's count. 1 ang ating rise and then 1 ang ating run. So, going to the left side. So, nandito po yung ating next point. And negative 1, 3. So, let's do it one more time. 1 going up and then 1 going to the left, therefore at point negative 2, 4. So we can now connect these points at makakabuo na po tayo ng isang straight line. And this line is the graph for y is equal to negative x plus 2. Now, asan na po dito yung ating solution? Okay, so pag na-plot na po natin yung mga points at na-graph na rin po natin yung line, we can now find the point of intersection. Yun na po yung magiging solution ng ating graph. So, where is the point of intersection ng dalawang line? It is at point positive 1 and 1. Ito na po yung tinatawag nating solution. It is where the two equations intersects. So, yun po yung point of intersection. So, I repeat, the solution is at point 1, positive 1, and positive 1. Okay, let's have another example. Okay, so we have here the system of linear equations. We have here the first equation is x plus y is equal to 1. And then the second equation is 2x minus y is equal to 5. So what method are we going to use to graph this? We can use any method. Since this is in the standard forms, pwede naman natin gamitin yung table of values. Okay? So, in this example, we will be using table of values but not necessarily. Kahit anong method po, dun sa tatlong pinakita natin kanina, you can use any of them. Kung ano po yung pinakamadali para sa inyo. So, in my case, I will be using the table of values. Okay? So, let's have 4 points at least. So, let me pick negative 1, 0, positive 1, tsaka 2. Yung mga madadaling points lang po. Since yung ating Cartesian coordinate plane ay limited lang po siya, no? Maliit lang. So, next, if x is negative 1, I'm going to substitute this first to the first equation. So, ito muna ang i-graph natin, yung first equation. X plus y is equal to 1. So, let us substitute the value of x, which is negative 1. What will be the value of y? So, since negative 1 po ito, ililipat natin sa kabilang side of equation using APE or the addition property of equality. We can now have y is equal to 1 plus 1. Remember, pag nilipat natin si negative 1, from the left going to the right, magiging positive 1 na po siya. So, magpa-plus na po siya. So, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Therefore, y here is equal to 2. Pwede na ba tayong mag-plot? Pwede na po. So, we can now plot the point. The point here is negative 1, positive 2. Next, we have x is equal to 0. So, using again the first equation, what if x here is 0? So, substitute natin. So, ang naiwan na lang is y. Y is equal to 1. Okay? So, our y value here is positive 1. Pwede na nating i-plot. Okay, this is now 0.01. Okay, next, tuloy lang po natin. So, we have here x is equal to 1. What will be the value of y? Same equation pa rin tayo. Nasa first equation. X plus y is equal to 1. X will be 1. And then y now will be 0. Okay, kasi positive 1, ililipat mo sa right side, magiging negative na siya, kaya 1 minus 1. So, 1 minus 1 is 0. So, y value here is 0 if x is 1. I-plot na natin. So, if x is 1, y is 0, nandito po yung ating point. Next, last value, if x is equal to 2, what will be the value of y? So, let us substitute. X is 2, kaya magiging 2 yan. Now, maiwan po si y. Si positive 2, ililipat sa kabilang side. So, magiging negative siya or magma-minus na siya. So, 1 minus 2 will become negative 1. So, the value here for y is negative 1. Let us plot this at andito po yung ating point. So, if you notice, it actually creates a straight line. Okay, there you go. We can now make a straight line. Now, pag napapansin nyo na habang nagpa-plot kayo, naiiba na yung orientation, parang may naiibang point, most probably, may mali po kayo doon sa substitution or sa computation. So, you can go back sa mga pag-substitute nyo. Okay, now, that's just half of our task. Yung second naman po is graphing yung second equation natin. So again, using table of values, we have 2x minus y is equal to 5. Let me pick this point. Let me pick positive 1, positive 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, so using our second equation, 2x minus y is equal to 5. If the value of x is 1, what will be y? So substitute natin, x is equal to 1. 2 times 1 will be 2. Okay, and then since negative po yung ating y dito, at nilipat na natin si 2 sa kabila, so magiging minus 2 na siya. 5 minus 2 will be positive 3. But since we have negative y, okay, we will multiply the whole equation by negative 1 para maging positive pa rin si y. So, yung positive 3 kanina dito, 5 minus 3, positive 3, magiging negative 3 na po siya if we want to find positive y. Okay, so the value of y here is negative 3. Next, we will use x is equal to 2. Okay, so i-plot muna natin pala si 1, negative 3. So nandito na po yung point natin, 1, negative 3. Next, we have here 2. for x. So let's substitute. Second equation pa rin po tayo. 2. So magiging 2 yung x natin dito. So 2 times 2 will be 4. Ililipat sa kabila, magiging minus 4. So 5 minus 4 will be positive 1. However, yung y natin dito dapat po ay positive. So we will multiply the whole equation by negative 1 para maging positive si y. Therefore, yung positive 1 kanina magiging negative 1. Okay, so we will now plot to negative 1. But since meron na po tayong point 2, negative 1, we don't need to repeat. Okay, so nandyan na po yung point natin. Next, ituloy lang po natin sa dalawa pang values ni x. So we have 3. So 2x minus y is equal to 5. Let's substitute. X will be 3. Okay, y will now be positive 1. Okay, so our point is at 3, positive 1. Nandito na siya. And then last, para makumpleto yung 4 points, okay, we have here positive 4. If x is equal to positive 4, substitute natin. 2 times 4 will be positive 8. Lilipat sa right side, magiging minus 8. So 5 minus 8 will be negative 3. But since y is equal to negative y, we will multiply the whole equation to negative 1. Magiging positive 3 na po yung nandito sa right. So y is equal to positive 3. We will now plot this point for 3. Andito po siya. So we can now connect the points to make a straight line. So there you go. Dalawang line nag-intersect sa anong point? Ang solution na po natin ngayon ay itong point 2, negative 1. Okay, so again, the solution is 2, negative 1. It is where the two lines intersect. Okay, just additional tip for you para po kung gusto nyo makasigurado na ito yung solution, you can always substitute these coordinates sa ating mga equations dito in any of these two equations. At kung magiging equal sila, if the equation is true or if it satisfies the equation, then makakasiguro ka na tama yung sagot mo. Okay, pero pag hindi po sila equal, mali po yung na-solve nating solution. Okay, so that's one tip for you to check your answers. Okay, so lahat po ba ng systems of linear equation, iisa lang po ang kanilang intersection or yung solution? Actually, hindi po. There are different types of systems of linear equation. So we have here the first type, and then ano po ang itsura ng graph, and then the number of solution. Okay, there are actually 3 types of systems of linear equation. The first type is what we call the consistent and independent type of system. So ang graph po nito, parang yung mga examples natin kanina, they have a point of intersection. So kung bibilangin natin kung ilan po ang solution niya, there are just 1. Okay, it is the point of intersection of the system. So the graph forms an intersecting lines. Okay? Now the second type is what we call the inconsistent naman. Ang itsura nito, this is the graph of an inconsistent type of linear equations. The graph form a parallel lines. Okay? So pag sinabi nating parallel lines, they will never intersect. They go at the same direction but will never intersect. Okay? Now, what is the number or how many solutions do we have for this? Mag-i-intersect din po ba sila at some point? Hindi po. So, there will be no solutions. So, again, they go at the same direction but they will never intersect. Therefore, wala pong magiging solution. Hindi po sila magkakasalubong. Okay? So, that is the inconsistent type. And then, the last type is what we call the consistent and dependent. Ang itsura naman po niya is just a normal linear equation. Pero, actually, parang nagmumukha itong isang line. But in reality, there are actually 2. So, anong nangyari? The graphs coincide. Okay? Kumbaga, nagpatong lang yung dalawang graph natin. So, iisa lang yung kanilang direction, iisa lang din yung kanilang place, iisa lang din yung mga coordinates nila. So, the number of solution, ilan kaya? So, magiging infinite number of solutions na po siya. So, bawat point dyan sa ating line na yan ay coinciding. So, ibig sabihin, yung solution ng isang equation, parehas din po dun sa isang equation. So, this is what we call consistent and dependent. Okay, now for you to practice, we have here exercise. Okay, i-solve nyo yung system of equations by graphing. If you have your graphing paper with you, mas maganda po para magawa nyo yung ating exercise. And after graphing, you have these 5 questions. What kind of lines are formed? Is there a point of intersection? Identify the point of intersection, and based on the graph, what kind of system of equation does it illustrate? And then lastly, how many solutions are there in this kind of systems of linear equation? So there are actually 4 items here. So i-flash po natin yung number 2. This is number 2, and this is number 3, and this will be number 4. Okay, so you can take a screenshot or pwede nyong i-post po yung 4 na yan, and then you have your time to answer or graph the following. Okay, so after doing that, you can go back to our video para po ma-check nyo yung sarili ninyong mga sagot. Okay, so God bless po sa inyong pagsagot. I hope magawa nyo po ito ng tama. Okay, I hope you are done graphing and answering the questions here. I'm going now to show you the solution for these 4 items. Okay, let's start with number 1. So number 1, we have this solution. Ang ginapit po natin ditong pang-graph is the intercept method. Pero kung ibang method po ang ginamit ninyo, it's okay. Parehas lang din po ang lalabas. And these are the following answers. Okay, now for number 2, ito po yung kanyang graph. And these are the answers for those 5 questions. Now for number 3, using the intercept method, ito po ang itsura ng graph. It's a parallel line, and these are the answers. Now for number 4, this is actually a coinciding line, and these are the answers for those 5 questions. So I repeat, kahit anong method po ng pang-graph, okay lang po, as long as nag-graph nyo po sila ng tama. Okay, I hope nakuha nyo po yung mga tamang sagot dito. And if you want more exercise, I have here an activity. Okay, you can do this, and then you can check this with your teachers, especially if they are using our PowerPoint presentation. And for our next lesson, we will now be having solving systems of linear equation by algebraic methods, which involves elimination tsaka substitution. Dito, hindi na po natin kailangang mag-graph. Okay, magsusolve lang po tayo algebraically, then we will now find out the solutions. So I hope to see you again on the next video. But for now, thank you for listening, and God bless po ulit sa inyo pong pag-aaral. Kung meron kang natutunan sa video na ito, please click the subscribe button to support this channel para mas matulungan ulit kita sa mga susunod mo pang math lessons. Lagi mong tatandaan, ang math ay para sa lahat. At ako si Teacher Van, nagsasabing dito sa Math Isip, lamang ang nag-iisip. God bless, and see you on the next video. Bye-bye.